Good evening. We shall begin with the MO diagrams of COF6 3 minus and CONH6 3 plus. As we have already studied one diagram, that is hexa echo titanium plus 3 ion, where there is a charge transfer from the non-bonding to the antibonding, that is Eg star molecular orbitals, that leads to the purple or violet color of the complex. On similar grounds, we are going to study one more diagram of cobalt, where almost 18 electrons are involved. So we have to construct one MO diagram wherein we can see how the electrons can be filled. On the similar grounds that we have studied, the diagram, we have to fill the electrons. So first of all, I would like to draw the blank MO diagram. Then I shall begin with the filling of electrons in different atomic and molecular orbitals. So I think that all of you have drawn the blank MO diagram, and by using this MO diagram we can fill up the electrons. So the name of the complex is COF6 3 minus. Just to make the adjustment. So here we are going to see the MO diagram of this COF6 3 minus, name of which is a hexafluoro cobalt 3 ion, because the primary valency is not satisfied. As usual, we have to show the increasing energy on left hand side, the 9 significant orbitals coming from the metal 3D, then 4s and 4p. This we know because we have seen these orbitals in the morning. Here there are two sets of these orbitals known as a T2g, then EG. 4s orbitals are known as A1g, while 4p orbitals are known as a T1u, triple A degenerate. So these are the 9 significant orbitals. Then the 6 orbitals coming from ligand are A1g, T1u, and EG. These are the 9 significant orbitals. These are the atomic orbitals of cobalt plus 3. These are the AOs of 6 fluoride ions, which are known as 6 LGOs of fluorine. Now here, as per the knowledge of our molecular orbital theory, we can show the 9 significant orbitals of metal as well as the LGOs of the ligands. Now here, cobalt having atom number 27, electronic configuration 4s2 and 3d7. In order to show the +3 oxidation state of cobalt here, loss of these 2 electrons are taking place and loss of one of the electron taking place. That means 4s0 and 3d6. So we have to fill 6 electrons in 3d orbital like this. First 5 electrons occupy singly and 6th electron can be shown here. If you are having your blank MO diagram, then you can also show these are the 6 electrons. Every fluorine will contribute 2 electrons for the formation of a bond between metal and ligand, that is between cobalt and fluorine. So 6 electron pairs or 12 electrons are donated by ligands. So 6 electrons coming from metal, 12 electrons coming from ligand, and hence the total number of electrons are 18. So the molecular system must contain 18 electrons. So we have to show 18 electrons in the molecular system. In the central part of the diagram, as usual, we have to show the molecular orbitals of COF6 3 minus. Here first bond between cobalt and fluorine that exists between this contribution of A1G side of the metal the A1G side of metal as well as the LGOs. If we look at the A1G side of metal, no electrons are present, hence we have to show a dotted line indicates no contribution, but the requisite number of electrons are present, hence I have to draw a thick line that indicates there is a contribution from LGO side only. So these two electrons are contributed here, while the antibonding molecular orbital, which can be designated as A1G star, no contribution from both the sides, hence there is a dotted line. So first bond that is formed. Now, at a time, three bonds have been produced between cobalt and fluorine, which are designated as T1U. Now, consider the T1U side of metal. If we look at the T1U side of metal, it is seen that the T1U side of metal that is entirely empty, so no contribution, hence a dotted line from T1U side of metal, but the requisite number of electrons are present from T1U side of metal, T1U side of ligand, hence all the 6 electrons are contributed wholly to the formation of these 3 bonds which are in one square plane. And the high energy antibonding molecular orbital, which is labeled as a T1U star, as all the electrons are consumed, hence no contribution from both the sides, hence there is a dotted line. Now, at a time, two bonds which are almost perpendicular to the square plane are formed, which are shown like this. This is labeled as Eg. Now, consider the Eg side of metal having 3 electrons, but the Eg side of ligand having 4 electrons. Here, if we consider the energy considerations, then it is seen that the LGOs are very close in energy to bonding molecular orbitals as compared to the AOs of the metal. So, because the energy gap between the bonding molecular orbitals and LGOs is very small, hence all the four electrons are contributed wholly. So, we have to draw a thick line from LGOs, no contribution from metal side, hence a dotted line. So, these are the 12 electrons. Now, still we have to show the 6 electrons coming from the metal. Here, the anti-bonding molecular orbital that is named as a Eg star, which can be shown like this. And these are the T2GN, that is a non-bonding molecular orbitals. Now here, the fluoride ligands are weak field ligands. Because ligand field is weak, the crystal field splitting, that is delta O value, is small. That means this energy gap is very, very small. Because small energy gap is there, and hence out of 6 electrons, first of all 3 electrons occupy T2GN MOs. The 4th and 5th electron occupies Eg star orbital because this energy gap is small. So because weak ligand field is there, very less amount of energy is required to place these electrons in high energy Eg group of orbitals, and the 6th electron gets paired up in T2G orbital. So the contribution configuration becomes T2GN4 Eg star 2. So this is how we have completed this MO diagram. Now we have to check whether the MO diagram molecular system contains in all 18 electrons. See here, these are the 12 electrons which are accommodated in bonding, and the remaining 6 electrons are shown here. So how can we write the electronic configuration of 18 electrons in molecular system? A1G2, that means this is A1G2, T1U6, so T1U6, then Eg4, then next higher energy level is T2GN, So this is a T2GN containing 4 electrons, so T2GN4 and Eg star 2. So this is how these are the total number of electrons, which are 18. And we have already shown this is the sigma S, this is sigma P, this is sigma D, this is sigma star D, sigma star S, and sigma star P. Now we have to find out which are the HOMOs and which are the LUMOs. HOMOs are nothing but the highest occupied molecular orbitals. Here, if we see, this is the highest molecular orbital and this is the lowest molecular orbital. We have to find out that molecular orbital which is having high energy but it is occupied. So here Eg star is nothing but the HOMO. So we have to write this is as a HOMOs, and we have to find out the LUMO, that is the lowest unoccupied molecular orbital. Here in this MO diagram, A1G is the lowest molecular orbital, but it is filled. We have to find out that molecular orbital having low energy, but it is unoccupied. So lowest unoccupied molecular orbital. So here A1G star is a LUMO. So A1G star is a LUMO, which is a lowest unoccupied molecular orbital, which is entirely empty. Now here, as weak ligand field is there, we know whenever weak ligands are there, the spin is very high because electrons prefer to remain unpaired. 4 unpaired electrons are there. Why spin is increased? Because electrons are spin free. 4 electrons are spin free and the complex is paramagnetic. So this is how we can show the MO diagram for cobalt complex. Now, another diagram that I would like to give you, that is the diagram of CONH6 3 plus. Diagram CONH6 3 plus. Now, the IUPAC name of this complex is a hexaamine cobalt 3 ion. Why it is ion? Because primary valence is not satisfied. Again, I would like to show you the blank MO diagram. See here, the diagram is very simple because you are very well familiar with the diagram and its notations 3D, then 4S, then this is 4P, which are designated as P2G and P2G. This is EG, this is A1G, then this is a P1U. These are nothing but the AOs of cobalt plus 3. These are AOs of cobalt plus 3. We have to show the 6 LGOs like this. These are nothing but 6 LGOs of ammonia. Now again here, this is a D6 case as it is previously. We have seen that loss of 2 electrons and loss of 1 electron takes place. Hence it is a D6 case. So again, I have to show 6 electrons here. 6 electrons can be shown like this. And 12 electrons or 6 electron pairs are contributed by 6 ammonia molecules. So again it is 18 electron system. 6 electrons from metal and 12 electrons from ligand. So in all there are 18 electrons in all. So whenever we finish the diagram, we have to check whether the molecular system contains 18 electrons. Now here in the central part of the diagram, the molecular orbitals of CONH6 3 plus. Now first bond between cobalt and ammonia, which is formed on account of A1G. Now A1G side of metal is empty, while the A1G side of LGOs having requisite number of electrons. So these 2 electrons are contributed. Here the high energy orbital A1G star is empty. Show a dotted line from both the sides. Again, at a time 3 bonds have been produced. T1U. Here consider the T1U side of cobalt, no electrons are there. There is a dotted line and requisite number of electrons are there. And hence all the electrons are contributed by LGOs. And we know this is A1G, this is a T1U, and this is a EG. T2G orbitals do not have proper symmetry orbitals to combine or to overlap with LGOs. No T2G orbitals are shown. No proper symmetry orbitals are there with LGOs. Now, the anti-bonding molecular orbitals, which are labeled as a T1U star, no contribution from metal as well as the ligands. And here, two bonds at a time are formed. These are known as EG. Consider the EG orbitals of metal having almost 3 electrons. Here, the EG group of orbitals, that is the bonding molecular orbitals, are close in energy to LGOs, and hence all the 4 electrons are contributed by EG, and hence EG LGOs contribute their electrons, no contribution from the metal side. Now the case is somewhat complicated because our job is to fill the electrons in EG star and T2G and non-bonding MOs. Now, here we have to take into account the strength of ammonia molecule. Whenever ammonia molecules are involved, which is uncharged or neutral ligand, which is regarded as a strong ligand. So whenever ligand field is strong, the energy gap delta O is large because strong ligands interact with the metal d orbital strongly, that this energy gap is increased. And because of strong ligand field, out of 6 electrons, first 3 electrons occupy singly, and now the strong ligand field does not permit the electrons to remain unpaired. So as this energy gap is large enough, large amount of energy is required to place the electrons in EG group of orbitals, and hence very less amount of energy is required to pair the electron. Hence pairing takes place. So EG star, we have to show a dotted line, and to T2G, 6 electrons are simply transferred to the molecular system. So because surrounding ligand field is a strong ligand field, and because of this the pairing takes place. So whenever ligand field is strong, crystal field splitting is large, amount of energy required to pair the electron is small, and because of this the electrons prefer to pair, and because of pairing the complex is low spin, or this is known as a spin paired complex. Also in this molecular system, no single occupancy of electrons takes place. So absence of unpaired electron that renders a diamagnetic property to the complex. In the previous case, as the ligand field is very weak and hence crystal field splitting is small, amount of energy required to pair the electron is high, and hence this is a high spin complex and a paramagnetic. In contrast to this complex is a low spin because crystal field splitting is large, pairing energy is small, and hence the complex is low spin or spin paired diamagnetic complex. Now, which are the HOMOs? We have to show the highest occupied molecular orbital. Here, this is highest orbital, but it is empty. If we come down here, then it is found that T2Gn is a HOMO because it is a highest occupied molecular orbital. We have to find out the LUMO, that is the lowest unoccupied molecular orbital. Here A1G is the lowest, but it is having 2 electrons. So if we compare, then EG star is the lowest unoccupied molecular orbital. So EG star is a LUMO. As usual, we have to label this as a sigma S, sigma P, sigma D, and this is a sigma star D, sigma star S, and this is sigma star P. Now we have to check the molecular orbital diagram whether it is correct with respect to the total number of electrons, that is 18. So here 12 electrons are accommodated in bonding and these are the 6. That means the diagram is correct. So how the 18 electrons are distributed? It is A1G2, T1U6, EG4, and T2GN6. So these are nothing but total number of electrons are 18. Now, if we compare both the diagrams, that is the diagram for cobalt complex and the diagram for the amine complex, only difference lies with this orbital. In cobalt complex, these are EG orbitals which are singly occupied because the energy gap is small. Hence, the 2 electrons are placed here. The energy is very, very less to place the electron. But in this complex, that is amine complex, surrounding ligand field is strong, and because of which the delta value is large. Hence, amount of energy required to pair the electron is less, and hence pairing takes place, which reduces the spin or lowers the spin. So this is the main difference between the two complexes that we have studied. So this is how we have completed the topic that is known as the uh, crystal field theory, that is metal ligand bonding in coordination complexes. With this, I am going to start with the primary idea of the next topic, that is known as, if at all, if the time completes, then you have to rejoin by clicking the same link. Now here, the next topic that is also very important, because this is a maximum weightage topic, that is the metals, semiconductors, and superconductors. Now here in this topic, we are going to study certain physical properties of the metals, then how the metals they can produce the semiconductors, and how the semiconductors are converted into superconductors and their characteristic features. So all these aspects that we are going to study while studying the topic that is known as the metals, semiconductors, and superconductors. Now, in this case, here, if we look at the general properties of metals, which are the general properties of metals? The general properties which are associated with the metals are in all 9. First is known as the crystal structure or crystal lattice. The second property is known as high electrical conductivity. Third is again high thermal conductivity. We know that these are the properties which are associated with the metals. Then the fourth property, which is also very important, equally important, that is known as a metallic luster. That is the shining appearance. So here I am showing that I am running out of time. So if the Zoom meeting ends, you have to keep continuing by clicking the same link, the metallic luster. The fifth, that is known as emissivity. Sixth property, that is known as the malleability and ductility. This is a sixth property. Then seventh property is known as a sonority. Eighth property is known as the magnetism. And ninth property is known as the high tensile strength. Because we know that metals are very, very hard, and hence that because it is because of the high tensile strength. Now, if we look at all these properties, these are equally important for the whatever the distinguishing properties which are exhibited by the metals, those are only because of these characteristic features. Now, what is this first property that is known as a crystal structure? We know that crystals exists in two different forms. One is known as amorphous, another is known as crystalline. In case of amorphous type of crystals, here we can find that there is a atoms, ions or molecules which are randomly arranged. For example, if we take for instance the face powder, which is a amorphous in nature, where the constituent units or the building units which are randomly associated. No perfect geometrical structure is there. But the crystalline structures have a perfect arrangement of the building units. For example, if I draw a perfect cube like this is a perfect cube where there are 8 corners which are there. This structure is known as a face-centered cubic FCC, or this is also known as a CCP, that is cubic closed packed type of arrangement. This is upper face, this is a lower face, this is side face, this is back side, and this is front. So here, such an arrangement which leaves no empty space is known as a face-centered cubic. So crystalline structures having the regularity in the arrangement of the building units known as the atoms, ions, or molecules. So such type of face-centered cubic structure that is observed in case of copper, or in case of silver, or in case of gold. All such type of crystalline structures, they exhibit the property that is known as a FCC or CCP type of arrangement. Some crystals, for example, I would like to show you one more crystal where some another type of crystal structure is observed that is known as a BCC. This is known as a body centered cubic. Here, as it is a cube, there may be 8 corners like this, and one ion that is present at the center of this cube, which is known as the center of the body, which is in association with the surrounding 8 corners. So this is known as a body-centered cubic. The alkali metals such as lithium, sodium, potassium, these are the notable examples where such type of arrangement has been seen. Then one more type of arrangement can be observed that can be shown as like this. This is a perfect hexagon. Here, if we join these corners like this, so this is upper face of hexagon, and as this is a hexagon, we can show the structure as a HCP, hexagonal closed packed type of arrangement. For example, beryllium, alkaline earth metal, magnesium atom number 12, alkaline earth metal, or scandium, that is a transition element or transition metal. All such crystals, they show such type of arrangement, that is a HCP type of arrangement. So under crystal structure, the crystalline structures may fall either in FCC or CCP, BCC or HCP, that is hexagonal closed type of structures. So we can again rejoin by clicking the same link, and we shall begin for about 10 to 15 minutes so as to complete the remaining properties, that is high thermal conductivity, metallic luster, and all other properties. So you have to click the same link and rejoin to study remaining properties.